Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, translated by William Scott Wilson. Narrated by Scott Brick. Translation copyright 2002 by William Scott Wilson. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Kodansha International Limited and was produced in the year 2010 by Tantor Media Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Forward. In a private collection in Japan, there is a remarkable painting, nearly 400 years old, of a shrike on a withered branch. Done in monochrome India ink and measuring about 4 feet high by 1.5 feet wide, it expresses a tension and clarity of spirit that seem to go far beyond the bounds of its relatively few lines. The shrike sits with extraordinary attention and concentration, its sharp beak a subtle and almost cruel curve, its gaze cast into the void. It is clearly a bird such as we rarely see in our backyards. As we continue to look at this work, it is the single stroke depicting the greater part of the branch that becomes most arresting. Rising up from the bottom left of the painting and cutting through its near center, it is grace and strength in a single quick movement, standing out against nothingness. The observer might conclude that the painter must have been, in a sense, absolutely fearless. How else the decisiveness and total self-confidence of this one sword-like stroke? The painter's name was Niten, or Two Heavens. More exactly, Niten was the artistic name of one Shinmen Musashi, or Miyamoto Musashi. With the publication of the Book of Five Rings, I feel a sense of completion on what might be considered a short cycle of translations of works centering around Japanese warrior thought and concerns. Musashi, who was the ultimate combatant on the field, reveals his techniques for defeating one's opponent through spirit, awareness, and discipline. For him, the only goal is victory. There is no other point to combat, whether in one-on-one confrontations or on the battlefield for his lord. What is gained along the way of this discipline, however, is a grasp of all the other arts, both martial and literary. In The Unfettered Mind, the Zen priest Takuan, a contemporary of Musashi, teaches the defeat of the interfering ego, the overriding sense of self over which we often stumble, specifically in its first essay, The Mysterious Record of Immovable Wisdom. Writing to one of the sword masters to the shogun, Takuan uses the example of martial combat to explain the Zen approach to handling the ego, and so deals with the transcendental area, including both life and death. In the third work of this cycle, the Hagakure, Yamamoto Tsunetomo considers the warrior values of loyalty, duty, and righteousness, and finds his ultimate realization of these matters in death.